Well, the time is finally here. Yeah, the state convention that's now on its third date, but this will be the third and final date, July 10th. I am now pleased to let you, my audience, know that the convention committee reports are now up and active and ready for you to go read at NCGOP.com. Now, in part of my comprehensive coverage of the NCGOP convention, and me being the only media outlet that has the comprehensive coverage and the expertise of covering the convention, this will be now my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th convention that I've attended. You can be sure that I'll be trying to do the best I can to cover these committee reports and give you my opinion and that sort of thing. Now, I will tell you, as I said in my last video, in the June update video for the state convention, this year's convention is going to be a lot different than years past. It's just going to be a one-day affair, and this year, in years past, what has happened is when the convention is doing convention business, as in debating and adding, making motions, making amendments, these things have always been done on the floor of the convention. And what happens is a delegate will go to the microphone in the there's usually 3 or 4 microphones scattered about the convention hall, and they will go to one of these microphones and they will make an amendment, make a motion, ask a question, a bunch of other things that they could do, and they'll be able to do that at the convention. This year is going to be a lot different. This year, what a delegate will have to do, if they want to do, make an amendment to these committee reports, is they actually have to fill out a form, and that form must be turned into the state party no later than June 28th. Okay. And so there's not going to be really much, because also this event is going to be held, it's going to be held in person in Greenville, and it's also going to be virtual convention too. Those people that want to do the virtual thing as well. So all these motions and amendments have to be turned in ahead of time, because it just will not be possible to have a convention that's been adjusted because of COVID-19, for this particular event. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the rules, the convention rules this year. Most of the conventions in years past, the rules have been pretty much 95% of them have been the same from year to year, with very extremely little changes. Okay, this year though, because of COVID-19, there had to be a lot of changes. The first of which deals with registration. Rule number 4: delegates to the convention must have registered with the North Carolina Republican Party prior to 5 p.m. on June 19th. Okay. Then we have call to order. Rule number 5. Okay. Let's see here. The 2020 NCGOP Convention shall be held at the Greenville Convention Center. However, delegates and alternate delegates may attend the convention by phone or electronic device as determined by the convention chairman. The convention shall convene at 9 a.m. on Friday, July 10th, 2020, and recess approximately 12 p.m. as determined by the convention chairman. The convention shall reconvene at 2 p.m. on Friday and recess as determined by the convention chairman. Okay, the convention on credentials. Rule 6A. Prior to the convention, the Committee on Credentials shall post on North Carolina GOP website a list of all counties and respective numbers of delegates and alternate delegates allotted. Let's see here. Next rule is about no person shall be seen as a delegate unless they've been elected at a county convention. That has not changed at all from years past. Let's see here. All motions must be made regarding credentials prior to 5 p.m. on June 28th. Let's see. And then, let's see. After the adoption of the final report of credentials, let's see. Motion must be made by 5 p.m. on July 7th, which would be a Tuesday. Let's see. Before the convention is called to order, the Committee on Credentials shall post on the NCGOP website a record of the delegates and alternates accredited to the convention from each county. Okay. Rule 6B. Motions to amend a report of the Rules, Plan, and Organization, Platform, and Resolutions Committees shall not be in order unless the motion is made to the NCGOP prior to 5 p.m. on Friday, June 28th, 2020. A motion to amend a report of the Rules, Plan, Organization, Platform, and Resolutions Committees shall be adopted upon a 2/3 vote of the delegates and alternate delegates seated as delegates. Okay, let's see. Quorum, disclosure, and closure, that hasn't changed. We're still doing the no delegate shall speak in convention longer than 2 minutes at one time, nor more than twice on any motions open for discussion. If a contest shall develop over any matter other than nomination or election, the convention chairman may, at his discretion, allow each side not more than 5 minutes to present its position. Let's see. Voting shall be conducted by electronic ballot. Delegates casting a vote must be on the floor of the convention at the time of such vote is cast. Delegates shall be considered on the floor of the convention if they are either in the convention hall or attending in participate in the convention via phone or electronic device as authorized by Rule 5. Okay, then we talk about nominations and that sort of thing. Okay. Convention guests. Rule 12. Only delegates will be allowed on the floor of the convention. All alternate delegates and guests must remain seated in the section designated for guests. The convention chairman, in the convention chairman's discretion, may allow guests to listen and observe the convention via phone or electronic device. Any guest listening or observing the convention via phone or electronic method shall not attempt to vote on or speak to any matter before the convention. This has been the same, well, a little bit. This has changed a little bit from last year, because last year there was like a record for a number of delegates. It's like 1,300 delegates that were packed into the Concord Convention Center. What the convention chairman had to do was put the guest in a whole separate room and watch the convention via closed circuit TV that way. So this is kind of alluding to that as an option. I mean, they're going to have to spread everybody out at least 6 feet, regardless of whether or not they're a delegate or guest, or regardless of how many people attend this year's convention. Anyway, but this just goes to show you that yes, not just guests, but delegates may have to watch a convention too via closed circuit television as well. Let's see here. Resolutions from the floor. No proposed resolution from a convention delegate shall be in order unless it shall first be submitted in writing to the NCGOP prior to 5 p.m. on June 28th, 2020. The resolutions shall include the author of the resolution and, if applicable, the name of any organization-sponsored resolution. The proposed resolution can only be considered by the body upon a 2/3 vote of the convention. And Robert's Rules of Order is going to govern this convention. Adoption and suspension of rules always by a 2/3 vote. Rule 16, these rules shall govern the 2020 North Carolina Republican Party Convention only. Because, of course, hopefully in 2021 we'll have a normal convention, and, a lot of these rules that are new for this year will be hopefully obsolete in 2021. Okay. And then let me I haven't done this in years past, but let me do this. Let me tell you who's on the Rules Committee for this year. District 1 is R.J. Myrick. District 2, Judge Karen Stewart. Third District is the great and friend of mine, Bob Pruitt. 4th District, Johnny Scholl. 5th District, Cornelia Gross. District 6, Benjamin York. District 7, good friend of mine, Ann Sullivan. Neil Oakley is from 8th District. Jonathan Strange, District 9. Robin Ramsey, District 10. The great friend Michael Lyons in 11th District. Sarah Reedy Jones from District 12. Roger Younts in District 13. Brad Overcash is at-large member. He lives in District 10, I think, something like that. Susan Mills, at-large member. And the chair of the Rules Committee, Mark Edwards. Those people don't get enough credit, and I finally said, this year I'm going to give people credit for serving on these committees, because it can be a rather arduous task, but it can be also fun and rewarding as well. But there are a lot of conference calls and even meetings you have to go to in Raleigh, and there's a lot of mechanics and processes that go into these committees. Okay, next one, I'll go to my favorite one, the plan of organization. The changes to the plan of organization. Excuse me. Let's see. Okay. Election integrity. This is a change to County Executive Committee power and duties. The County Executive Committee shall elect the General Counsel at its first meeting after the biennial county convention. That's the odd number year convention is what they're referring to. Okay, the County Executive Committee shall elect the General Counsel at its first meeting after the odd number years county convention, unless the county plan organization provides for election by that convention itself. Duties of officer for General Counsel. The General Counsel shall be an attorney licensed in North Carolina, who shall provide general, legal, and parliamentary advice to the county party, and B, the chief election integrity officer of the county party, working to identify and eliminate election fraud and to maintain trained and qualified election observers in every precinct. In the event that no qualified Republican in a county is willing or too lazy to that was my is willing. Okay, be serious now. In the event that no qualified Republican in a county is willing to serve as general counsel, the county executive committee may select a person familiar with election procedures to chair an election integrity committee to carry out the election integrity functions of the general counsel. Notwithstanding the foregoing, in all questions regarding the state plan organization, the interpretation, therefore, of or any issues that impact the state party, the county general counsel shall have no authority to contradict the state general counsel or arbitration committee. So that just tells you qualifications of county general counsel, and just remember that the general counsel for the state Republican Party always has final say over the county and district matters. Okay. Congressional District Executive Committee is also going to add a district general counsel. And duties of officers exactly the same as the county officers, maybe a couple words different, but I'm not gonna not gonna waste time with that. Okay. Oh, but at the district you get two district general counsels. One is your head general counsel, and then you have your assistant general counsel. So what are the duties of the assistant general counsel? Well, it says here that the assistant general counsel shall assist the general counsel in his duties, act in his stead in his absence, and shall serve as the party's chief election integrity officer, who shall work in conjunction with the district and county general counsels to identify and eliminate election fraud and to build a team of trained election observers in every precinct in North Carolina. And the statement of explanation for this change is that this is a new structure established to coordinate party activities on election integrity and ballot security on an ongoing basis. Okay. Controversies. Okay. This just sets up an arbitration committee. Let's see here. An arbitration committee whose members shall be the state chairman, state vice chairman, national committee man, national committee woman, and general counsel. Parties before the arbitration committee shall have a reasonable opportunity to present their case through argument and evidence. The length and parameters of such argument, as well as the admission and consideration of such evidence, shall be solely within the discretion of the arbitration committee. But the arbitration committee must afford parties a reasonable opportunity to present their case. Rulings from the committee shall be made within 60 days, and their decision shall be final. All parties who participate in arbitration shall have access to the final written decision of the arbitration committee. Explanation for this change to the plan organization. This clarifies that the members listed form an arbitration committee and defines a process that allows the parties to present a case to this committee. So this year for the plan organization changes, it's just adding a county general counsel and then a general counsel to the district, congressional district Republican Party, and an assistant at the congressional district level, and then an arbitration committee to handle any kind of whatever kind of controversy arises in the party as well. So this is, I think, in my opinion, some good changes that are definitely going to help with the integrity of elections, and also just run things smoother through the mechanics of the party, I should say. So I have no problems with either of those. I have no problems with the rules. I have no problems with plan organization. Platform committee. I usually don't talk about the platform unless I don't talk about the platform before the convention. I just cover the platform as it's presented in debate at the convention, because the platform committee in the last couple of years has not presented the changes to the platform. You know, they'll just post the platform on the website, and they will not post the changes like the plan of organization does. And this year, as of right now, the 2020 platform is not even on the website. It's just the one that was adopted in 2019. Let's see. Oh, resolutions. But before we get to resolutions, just to know that you can find all this information I'm talking about NCGOP, and then you go to the convention tab. Scroll down, you got 2020 plan organization, 2020 state convention rules, 2020 resolutions, 2020 congressional support. If you're a registered Republican and a delegate to the state convention, and you would like to make an amendment to the plan organization or the rules or the resolutions, any of those kind of amendments, there's a proposal form that you fill out, and you send it in via the internet. Okay. Resolutions. We have 7 resolutions this year. Last year, I think we only had 4. So that's a good sign. Some of these are really self-explanatory, but some of them are a little bit more interesting than others. Some of them I'm just going to read the title, others I'm going to explain a little bit more. So, first one is resolution supporting the Second Amendment. Second one is resolution supporting the Electoral College. Resolution number 3 is a resolution supporting the audit of the Federal Reserve. Resolution number 4 is a resolution opposing Medicaid expansion. Resolution number 5 is a resolution supporting the right to life. Resolution number 6 is one regarding term limits. I'm actually going to read a little bit of that to you. Let's see. It is loading right now. There we go. Okay. Whereas President Trump backs a bipartisan congressional House push for term limits for both the U.S. House and U.S. Senate, a bipartisan congressional group proposed that term limits should begin with the current freshman class of the U.S. House and U.S. Senate. Resolved, the North Carolina Republican Party urges all Republican members of the North Carolina congressional delegation to propose and support legislation limiting U.S. House members to 4 2-year terms and U.S. Senate members to 2 6-year terms, which is a total of 8 years, be the limit for members of the U.S. House and 12 years for the U.S. Senate. And that was just the final 2 paragraphs of that resolution. The resolutions do get a little bit wordy and repetitive if I read the whole thing, just so you know. Again, if you want to read the whole resolution, ncgop.org, click on conventions, scroll down to resolutions, and there you go. This next resolution we have is on unity. It is a Republican unity resolution. It was first passed at the Robeson County Convention, which I actually attended, and the chairman of Robeson County is Dr. Philip Stevens, okay? And Dr. Philip Stevens is actually on the resolution committee. So, it's nice for him to contribute. And this is a great resolution. And I'll just read the first paragraph because it tells you everything you need to know. This is, again, a Republican unity resolution. This is a resolution in support of fellow registered Republicans for judicial appointments, as well as boards and commission appointments and any other appointment of any position made by any Republican elected official in an effort to promote the continued growth of the North Carolina Republican Party, Republican registration, and in furtherance of the shared values and ideals of the platform of the North Carolina Republican Party. So, there you have it. That's all I got for the committee reports right now for the Conservative Pelican. This is Bobby Crawford signing off. Yes.